Hello you, welcome to Geekism and welcome back to Fairview Lake. Couple of days off of these just while I get a bit of work done and move some furniture out of my old apartment. But now back to it and building a new coaster. Stick around to see how we put this coaster into the space and make it work in our challenge mode park here in Planet Coaster 2. So we're building a spinner coaster, not the extreme one where there's multiple on the track. When there's multiple, cars on the train. I guess this is the individual one. I think I've only ridden one of these, and that's the Spinball Wizard at Alton Towers. These are quite common in Europe, I think, more so than they are in in North America. And they're a good sort of like family level park. They're not necessarily looking for like G-forces or anything. It's really mostly just about the spinning. So the loops are all pretty tame, and what gives you the fun is off the car spinning through them. And I tried to sort of, do this as best as I can. Because I'm no coaster guy. I'm trying. I feel like I'm getting something that looks a bit like what it could look like. I'm not happy with this first go at this, which I think is called an Immelman turn. And the idea is that you're basically just turning around, but you're also going almost to 90 degrees. You kind of swing up and down, and it would only really work well on this kind of coaster, really, I think. And I kind of get in the end, this is attempt number 2, and I'm still not happy with it. And I think attempt number 3 actually ends up being okay. But I'm just trying to get the vibe of these coasters. They're meant to be pretty compact. They're not meant to be pretty tall. They have a lot of brake sections, a lot of brake sections throughout the ride, so that they can have multiple cars on at once, because otherwise you'd only get 4 people riding it at once. It would be terrible for capacity. I think with the way that we end up designing it, there's 4 comfortably 4 cars going, and you're always sort of you're always loading a car, so it feels like you're constantly moving forward. So I'm happy enough with that. I could have maybe tweaked the end of the ride a little bit, and got an extra one in there and just got an extra 5th car in. But overall, I'm happy with 4 cars running pretty smoothly. The trick is to kind of make each section about the same-ish length, so that there's always one just leaving as the next one comes in, kind of thing. What you don't want to do is have the cars sort of stop and wait mid-ride. Like they can stop and wait on the brake run. That's fine. Some people are okay with stopping at the top of the lift hill. I personally don't like that, but I've had that happen a few times. But what you don't want to happen definitely is having having the cars stop at the block brake sections mid ride, because one, it loses a lot of momentum. There's a chance that they don't necessarily even make the next section unless you built it really well for it. But also it's just boring, right? It just takes away from the fun of and the chaos of a coaster. Especially this is a very chaotic feeling coaster. So you'll see here that as we send them around, they often pause and brake, and the big problem I have really is that last section from the last brake run to from the last block brake to the brake run is too long, and it means that there's always a car in there when the next one wants to come in. So we end up sort of going back and shrinking that right down. So the ride ends up being shorter, but it actually flows a lot better, and overall I think it works out well. I think the idea here was I wanted to try and do a little sort of separate block brake section that would then tie into like a transfer track of sorts that had a little bit of a swooshy little windy bit back into the station, which I thought was quite cute. Again, I don't really know if that's realistic or not, but it looked fun. But instead we sort of take off that last section there, and instead just do a section that will have a transfer track most likely next to it. I'm not really sure. I didn't really plan for much of a transfer track on this one. I think I end up putting the queue line in that space in between, so we might have to tweak that, because I do want to try and get that sort of realistic look to it, even if this a coaster fan looks at this and thinks that it's awful and janky. I did my best to kind of make it smooth and keep it banked and have these multiple block brake sections and keep the ride like that, where there's always 2 or 3 on the track at once. I just think it looks really good fun. It's going to create some real dynamic movements in the space, and then we're going to tie this into the 90s area, even though it's actually towards the end of it. I also placed down a few flat rides just to kind of get a feel for the space of this area, so we can sort of box it off before we move on to another theme. I'd like to have a go at like a janky pirate theme. I think would be quite good fun. Even though we're doing pirates in Meanderville, you could do pirates in many different ways depending on the budget, and that's what I would like to have a look at doing here. Yeah, I just love seeing seeing that real sort of like mess of metal with them having them all potter around. It'd be nice if we got like one more in the space, but there are moments where there's at least 3 on the ride, maybe even 4, and I think that's really good fun. So yeah, it might not be the biggest people eater, but it's certainly going to keep moving and get people through. So here's what we did with the queue line. So we can work some sort of transfer track into here somewhere, I think. Maybe we do like a thing where it underneath here would come off and go straight on to a box here. I think I've definitely seen that happen in the past, so that could be quite good. Yeah, so actually I thought I moved it over. Maybe I didn't save it. I want to kind of move the queue line so it's a little bit more equal on either sides there. So we can do that. All we actually need to do is delete those bits. There we go. And then back to multi-select. There we go. Select all of that. And just sort of bring those in. That's better. That's more in the middle now. And then try and, it's the end of the day report, and try and queue path these all together. Okay, let's see if we can do that. Yeah. So you don't mind. Okay, so how about we just get rid of that then? Oh, no. There, thank you. Oh, come on. Man. It's always good fun playing with paths. Oh, we missed a bit. There we go. Okay, so what we need to do... maybe we go from this side then. There we go. Lovely. Okay, so it can be done. Cool. Alright, yeah, happy with that queue line there. And they sort of come in, and then we'll be able to decorate it. We'll have numerous options where it's like, you can just come straight through here and on if it's really quiet. You can come straight through here. We don't need the cattle pen, or we can open up the cattle pen. So that's kind of the idea there with all those different options. And then here we'll take this path and stamp it. Oops, maybe not 3, maybe 2 is fine. Fill that all in. Yeah, happy with that. And then I just made a little thing here where people can come, and we'll maybe put like a little gazebo here would be cool. And you can come and see the ride going. And then, yeah, like I said, I put down a few flat rides because what I want to try and do is tie the space in a little bit and see what we're working with. So we'll probably have the nice area go out this way into another expansion, but then also I wanted to kind of come round this way as well into another expansion. So lots to do today. What we'll get done in the time, I'm not too sure, but I do want to try and sort of box in the ride a little more. So we'll put down probably some fencing along here and round there. I think that would be quite good. So let's have a look at some stone options, because I do think it would be stone, but I think it would probably be no, it would probably be breeze block, even though we're not seeing it, because I think I would want it to try and tie in with the aesthetic of the area. So if we take it to something like that, and I think I'm just going to use the in-game fencing for this, because like it is just good. It does work, especially on like big curves like this. So we're just going to make this work for now. So we'll put you into a group. And get into that group and copy it. There we go. Hopefully this will all line up nicely. Looks like we're going to be doing something like this. And then we have a space there that to me is obvious pillar space. So, and we can use that pillar to come up off this and then have a gazebo over it. So there's a little bit backwards as to how I would normally like to do it, but I think it will work nicely. So where's those? Yeah, we want these. Brought up to there. Probably go a little bigger to make sure we fill in the gap. Okay. So one thing I did forget to do actually was colour these how I want them. I don't know what all these colours could be, so let's go to Spanish grey for the rock there. Maybe it's still collecting these somehow, maybe, and then all of this can be Spanish grey. There we go, and take it to there. Not quite. It's okay. I mean, the proper way to do this is to select that one, then choose the piece we want, then make it the scale we want. 202, okay, and then we basically do that on the other side. So we get that piece, that piece, that piece, and make the scale 202. Oops, no, 202. Calm down. There we go. Alright. Now, rather than trying to eyeball it, these will work. To there at least, and then we just have to sort of pull them out. But at least that's much more accurate. To copy them to there. And then we actually... well, we might as well leave that one. Let's do no harm. Okay, great. So now let's have a look at the extras. So we're on this one. And we're on paint. Okay, so the extras. Let's do painted metal. And then that painted metal will be whatever colour we tie into the path. And we sort of fill all them in. There we go. And hopefully do a little more either side. There we go. So that has given us a curb that doesn't sit lovely with the shape that we built. It's definitely not perfect, but I think it's okay. It's actually just there, look, it's not is a problem. So if we just take it in there, is that going to be a problem somewhere else? No, that's okay. Alright, good. So how do we make this into a nice gazebo that sort of works well with this space? Let's take these. And we need a nice plain pillar that will basically do the job for us. That's good, I think. Probably need a guess here to see how we're looking. Oh, see, that's already bigger than I thought. That guess is already smaller than I thought they were going to be. So, like height-wise, that's probably fine. We'll make it white. Okay. We'll do the same here. Needs to be a little higher. But it's good to use the set pieces, because then we can just come and add them onto this side and know that they're all going to be equal. Okay, and now we'll go for a more traditional square pillar. Which ones we've got? We've got this wooden one. I think probably a hoarding one is the way to go. There we go. We can do something like this. I'll do the same on this side. There we go. And then that lets us find the center point to work from. Okay. So we'll take these up. And then this is a 6 meter one, but actually we're going to need the 4 meter one. So we'll take the 6 one out. Bring that up. Make it white. Just take it to there, and then do the same on this side, basically. Now we've got the middle points, we can do the same here. So we can do that. There we go. And there. Okay, so that's going to be our center point. We should be able to loop that around now. Actually, we don't want that because we already have those in place. And they're going to go to there. What did we miss? Oh, all sorts. Yes, because these are 2 pieces. Okay, so 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2. It's a little tricky to see when they're white as well. Like, you can just about see the... it's not easy to do. In fact, I missed one again, but that's okay. We can put it in. Okay. So this isn't a perfect spot for this. So how about we take the whole thing and do this so as that the entrance... Yeah, that makes much more sense, doesn't it? Okay. Yeah, I think we're going to keep it real sort of simple like that and just have some nice colours and some interesting stuff on there. So filling this in with art shapes is going to be a class 1 nightmare, but we'll do it because we do it for the vine. Okay. So line to surface is kind of on. How is the best way to do this? If we go there and then turn it that way. That's right, isn't it? No, that's not even the right angle. We just have to judge it, don't we, I think? Yeah. I think there's a better way of doing this. There probably is. Okay. Because we just have to kind of judge it so it's light, so it's lined up right. Alright. So at the moment it's way too thick. So let's bring it right down. To there. Okay. I'll do that. Okay, and then we have to go in with other shaped pieces or smaller pieces. And try and fill in the gaps. One, 2, and same on this side. One. So that right to there, 2. Okay. So that's what we get out of that size shape, and now we just go smaller to fill in the gaps. So we'll probably do triangle. I think the one that goes the very smallest is actually the little semicircle. But this is fine. For our needs. I'm not too worried about that little there because we'll put a ball or something on there as well. Okay. At this point we should probably pick a colour. So let's select them all. That's a lovely dark blue. Yeah, and we've gone blue there as well, so this is going to be a blue Blue, blue, blue Christmas. Okay, let's bring that down there. We should be able to fit in and do most of this with this. Some different sized triangles would be really great. Here is where we probably have to come to that arch then. Where is it? This one, semicircle. This is like the winning shape. Just holds it all together. Fills all the gaps. Whoops. And basically, we're going to use that to finish off the shape there. And then swing it around and have it just in that corner there. Lovely. We're not going to talk about what the underneath of this will look like. In fact, we can absolutely fix the underneath of this in a moment. So for now, let's go. Oops. Select those because they're both just out. There we are. Lovely. Unfortunately, we can't copy and paste that over. We can at least take this one over though. And hope it's not a million miles away from where it needs to be. Which is there. And there. Oh, we'll just one of those in there as well. Oops. That's fine because the trim will be covering up all of the idiosyncrasies underneath. Okay. So let's take all of these. Copy it. 180 it. Oh, we took some white there with us, but that's okay. It'll actually help us line it up. Okay, and then we're just going to do all that again. But the easy way to do that now is just to copy this and remove the white, I think. Oops. There we are. What a mess. Oh. Let's try that again. There we go. And I suppose actually knocking this into a different colour will look pretty cool. There's definite issues here where it's spiking out. Can we fix that without it being too much of a problem? I think we can. I think we just go in and hand fix the other pieces. So let's make you royal blue. That's great. Okay, so these pieces then, these just have to get tweaked. There we go. That's okay. That looks okay to me. It's a little high on some and low on the others, but you know, this would be a sort of tarp anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. Okay, so let's go back to hoarding and use these to kind of tidy this up. Hopefully they will be still on some sort of angle. That should be right, I think. Whee! Okay, and we'll fatten this out a little bit more. That's fine, and then we'll do some of our nice support that we've used in the 90s building over there in white, but just sort of carrying over a pattern. So look, we have this stuff. This is pretty good. Do something like that. Or what else we got? There's that one. There's that one, which is actually the one we did use, which might be good to sort of tie it over. Yeah, maybe we use that one. To tie it all in. Okay. Because it doesn't really matter on the scale of these, we can just shrink them down to fit. Like that. That's good. And then we'll take that, swing it round. And then that way. There we are. And then just loop those, and that should be nice. Beautiful. It's got a bit of a seaside-y vibe going on. I don't mind that. A bit of seaside-y vibe here. That's cool. Somewhere like I kind of want it like tying into here, but then also having it come back up towards the more traditional over here. That's kind of where I'm trying to go with it. Whether we're getting there or not, I don't know, but I like that. Okay, and then we just need a little boop boop on the top there. Let's see if any of those keep ones will work. Well, that's more of a stony one. Let's say this thing. Yeah, I think that just made white. Oh, it doesn't go very white. It more goes silver. Okay. Maybe not that then. Maybe we'll just make one with art shapes. Yeah, that's the one that comes with keep. So, just see if anything jumps out. Inspire. No, it was the big pieces. Okay, that's fine then. Let's instead just get a sphere. I think that might actually just be enough. How do we make this work? Probably taking it that way, right? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's great. Just a big old ball on top of it. Alright. So that's that. Now, how do we start to tie this all in? I think we need to do a similar thing along here. To the station, probably. So let's start on that. Probably going to have to be just hand done all the way down, I think. So we take it just below the wall and just out there, and then the in-game path should neaten that up. Something like that. Okay. It's a fairly tedious task, so I'll be right back. Okay, added that wall in that side. I think this side, might be nice to sort of replicate what we've got here. And sort of have this as just a nice little step up through a little wooded area. So we can do that too. So we'll come down to Path and copy that style. Actually, let's copy that style so it gives us the railing. Yeah, that's good. And then we'll go line builder. I'm going to take you. Oh, no, we don't want straight. We want curved. There we go. But not attached. There we go. And I think, let's see, how's this best going to work? If we just take you to there. Yeah, that's fine. Then copy this texture now without the line. And we should be able to do this. There we go. We've still got to finish the back of this bathroom block as well. But then, yeah, I think this just becomes all path here. I don't know. I've got to figure out where the queue line goes on these, but like I think this is just quite a wide path with maybe a little midway in the middle. That could be neat. Okay, so let's go. Let's just delete a little bit of this. Oh no, not that. Oh, we really messed those people up. Let's just pause it a second. Let's do delete using the draw tool. There we go. Because what I'd like to do is sort of let's just bring that round to a nice length. There we go. Can we do that? There we are. And then and then we just fill this lovely little gap in here. Can we do that through here? Probably. Whoop. There we go. Okay. You figured out what you're doing? Yeah, you've nailed it. Good job, gang. Okay. That's good. So then that just opens. There we go. Just got a nice big plaza. I mean, not even nice. It's like the sun will be beating down on you. Not a good plaza spot. I am noticing trash. Definitely bring these around. Go, and they should probably be over here as well. We can see you all dropping your trash. Okay. Yeah, definitely, like, these big swathes of concrete need to be filled in with the little midway buildings and stuff, so that's fun. Okay, here then. Terrain. Where are you? Terrain. Okay, now we'll pull. We'll pull up to there. Keep this up here. Take that down just an edge. Although, this does come right up, doesn't it? Yeah, no, this needs to be right up to there. So let's do like fat like that, and then we'll smooth it. That's it. Because we do want it to come up to the edge of that concrete there. That looks good. Take the edge off elsewhere. That's fine. And then we'll do some retaining stones like we did before. No, just need to fill that in there. There we go. Okay. Pebbles? No. Gravel is our base. Yeah. I really like this gravel. Necessity is what is it? The thing of invention or whatever. So like we have to use this gravel because that's what this map is giving us. But I actually have grown to quite enjoy it as a substrate. I just think it looks a bit gross, you know. Like I think it's like there before you do anything else to it, it looks like a quarry, and I kind of dig that. So we're going to keep all this flat here, I think, because we're verging into ride territory now. And I also want to come and do a couple of like concrete pads, like one here where all of the block breaks are, and obviously we'll tie this in as well. But I think we can box this area off in this episode. I'd be quite happy with that. Okay, so back to path. Paint. Choose this now. There we go. And then this just becomes here. That's great. And then you become that up to there. Yeah, And then this blue is where is now it changes into the blue of the coaster. So now we can copy here. And we take this blue here, and this is now the themed coaster edge. That's good. And then we need to do a little work here just to kind of make this not have path. No, it's all or nothing, isn't it? Well, what we could do actually is that. There we go. And this one is fixing. Excellent. Okay. And then we'll come in with some of the work we've been doing here. We'll turn off align to surface because we want these to be nice and flat and dug in. Excellent. Oh, wait, that's a big one. But these sort of rocks just help. I want that one. Oh, it's all one rock. That's interesting. That's cool. Maybe we'll just carry these over then. Yeah, these just help sort of. Otherwise, it's a big pile of dirt, and it wouldn't be very structural. So these sort of suggest that there's a lot more going on to hold up this stone. Get to there. Awesome. I've got to check how far this comes out, but I think it should be. I think I'll just swing there. There's a great bit of interaction between the rides there. So we're just no tree here, basically. In fact, we could just test this, couldn't we? We just get that test in. And we can see where it goes up to. Wibble wobble, wibble wobble. There we go. Yeah, so it actually does stay within the ride pad, so we can do some light bushing here, but I don't think we want to go crazy with stuff. I do think we'll have a couple of trees here to help with some path shade. There we go. And maybe a little, yeah, something like this. A little lower down. And maybe that's what we can have here. That's good. These are too samey, unfortunately, but I do like them. Do we have something like that in? Sure. That's much better. There we go. Okay. And then we'll just take some of this groundwork, arrow roots, and what have you. Bring that in. Break up the big swathe of dirt with stuff like this. That's great. That way. I think this is where there would be a fair bit of growth down the bottom here. Yep, that's good. A little heavier stuff there. Yep, well, this is looking absolutely fine for me. And then just a bit of big coverage at the top here. Just make sure it's not really poking out onto the path too much. We don't mind, like I said in the last episode, we don't mind a little bit of pokey poke. But we don't want too much of it. This needs a bush or something on here, on this side. That might be a little big. Let's shrink it down just a shy. Yes, that's what that needed. Yeah, that's good. Nice and forested. Looking lovely. Oops. That's not what I meant to do at all. There we go. And we'll just continue to take this bushwork down into that area. Now I'm not gonna be, the whole ride won't be this heavily foliaged. Like, we're not gonna have rocks and bushes all under it. In fact, it's actually gonna be quite plain, I think. But that's just there, sort of where the areas meet. But they're actually under the ride itself. It'll be pretty well, not grim, but it won't look the best. Okay, so now we need to try and work all of this area into the same using the different path tools, because this wouldn't have all that. And this is one thing I will say. If you're looking to sort of like increase the realism of your builds, I'm no expert on this sort of stuff at all, but for me, like this floor and this floor and this floor, they wouldn't be different floors. This would all be done at the same time, and the only thing that breaks it apart as a station and a queue line is fencing. So we're going to come into here, we're going to take this texture, and we're going to paint the station to be it. And probably not that bit, like that would be weird to be this, but this would all be the same, okay? And then the queue line, I mean, I think we have this. It's the same, but a different color, I think. Is it? Okay. So, yeah, rustic path, yeah. So we're going to copy this color. This is what we did at the other place. We're going to copy this color. We're going to come to queue line. I'm going to say that it is now this color. And for now, we're going to turn railing off, because I want all of this. Oh, curb off as well. Yeah. There. And then we still have the little boop bloops where they go in and out of the ride, but otherwise that's more what I'm talking about there. This one big thing that is just showed off with curbs. So actually, for a moment, we'll leave the curbs on. Because I want to see where all this sits as we do the fencing. Okay. All right. And then we probably try and recreate this fence to go around the place. That would be the easiest way to do it. And we can definitely do that with hoardings. This is all pretty standard stuff. Won't quite get all the detail, I don't think, but this is okay. So, hoarding, 2 meter. Okay. So let's find the. Oh, it's a surface. There we go. So we want to find the grid of the station. Okay. Alright, so you are about that big. That's good to me. About that tall. So we come to here and we'll start to build this. Alright, so this is medium blue, I think, is what we did here. We can just confirm. Copy texture here. Sapphire, okay. And the medium blue is pretty good. Sapphire, okay, it's going to be a purple tinge to it. So we go there. Then we go to square art shapes. I don't know if the square is going to go small enough, but we'll try. Okay, it kind of does. Just enough to give it a little cap there. Yeah. And then we make a very slightly smaller version of you. One thing we do have is the hoarding, the tops of the hoardings, they change colour a lot. Okay, so now let's bring... Oh, no, sorry. No, what are we doing here? There we go. Bring you out, make you as small as you will go. Oh yeah, you're going to be more than small enough for the panels, that's fine. I'll take you that way. You're a little bigger. Okay, Okay, so the problem we're having here is that we're very close to the selection for the ride itself, which has to stop because it's going to get very annoying. So let's just bring you over here. Okay. Now we can put you on a group. And then we can work with you. Okay, so we're going to take you. Let's just bring it over here for a minute. To there. So that's where you go. You get ever so slightly bigger to be the top. And then we do the hoarding, the second one. I think it's just called hoarding 2. I'll spell it right because it's secondary support. That's the one, because this is flat. And this is what we're going to use to actually top the fence with. There we go. Okay. Over to there. Okay, and then you over here, and probably the lowest we can do here. Yeah. Oops. That might actually be a bit too far away. We'll have a look. Okay. Now I'll turn that off. Let's see. I think that is good enough. Oh, it needs a thicker top on it. Okay. It needs that thing brought up to sit there. And this actually needs to be thicker. About as much as it can go, probably. Okay, happy with that. So now we go back in here and make it work here. Unfortunately, we can't really get rid of the big black fencing just yet, so that has to stay there. Otherwise, we very much can make this work. Put it that way to there. And at some point here, we've actually got an exit we've got to think about. Where's that? let's pop that out there for a second. How do we find out where that exit is? Because we got rid of it. We probably have to get rid of these two, don't we? Okay. And then try and draw a path. There we go. We can see it now. Oops. Okay, so the exit is pretty much right up against the oops, no, I just want to select inside that building, sorry. There we go. So the exit's kind of right there and then right there. Oh, it's going to be tough to do actually, because we want to do a gate there as well. And all these hoarding pieces are probably a little longer than they need to be. So maybe we just have... Maybe just do doorways there then. Alright, got there in the end with that. That was That was a real slog to make that all work. And like, there's a chance they might clip here a little bit once we get guests in, but I really wanted to get the sort of the gates in, and there had to be a little bit of space here. I managed to make this little spot work with the gate, so overall it's okay. Thinking about it, this would probably open the other way. Oops, this would probably open like that, wouldn't it? Yeah. Actually, it would... Oh, no, we don't want to change the size of it. It would probably open there and sit back that way. I think that makes more sense. Yeah. Okay, so that's that. So now what we need to do is take this stuff over to here. Past what I'm going to do with the bridge yet. Probably frame it in though. I don't see it being all concreted. Honestly. So let's take that down there. And into there. And not going to start that yet because I have no idea where this path is going yet. To be honest with you, this path might come right up against here, to be honest with you. So, well, maybe not, because we're going to have some sort of transfer box here, I think, maybe. Yeah, Anne's on a postcard. Can I do a transfer track here? Could I have, like, could this bit change out for a straight bit that then feeds into a tent, you know, feeds into a unit of some sort? I think that could work, but I'm not too sure. Alright, we're going to take this here. To there. Or did we go? Yeah, I don't think we go further. That's fine. I think we keep the station that way. Oops. And then we can take all this down here. Oops. We can actually click the button. That'll do it. Swing around. And string that under there. To do the same on this side. What's this? What we got going on here? Some path. Funky path stuff. That's fine. Maybe we just pull that out to that. Yeah, there's some weird path interactions going on there, but we can totally tie that in. Oh, and it'll tie up to there fairly nicely. That's fine. And then here, this just goes to there, sinks in a little. And that's probably it, really. Probably has a little bit across the bottom, I guess. Like so. Take it in that way a little bit, and then we can do half and half, and it'll look right. And take that to the other side. Whee! There we go. Alright. Station is very small. That's what I like. We want it to be a small station. I don't want this to be a large building at all. And I'll be honest with you, I kind of just want to copy this over. Now I don't want to do the exact same style, as in I don't want to do the sort of pointed roof, but I think a flat roof but with that style on it would actually just work great for this. So I'm going to take a chunk of it, duplicate it, and then see if we can just line it up and reuse various points of it, because I really like the style of it and I think we can make this work. So we come to here, to where it definitely wants to be. Oops. And just find a nice middle ground. There we go. Okay, so we go into there. Then if we come in and basically take all of this out, just want to leave that piece there. Yeah. We'll definitely leave this colour, royal blue. I'll take that over there, make that royal blue so we've got the right colour. No, that's the sapphire. There's the royal blue. Great. And then take all of these out. Oops. There. I mean, that we'll actually just put that back in again in a minute, but that's fine. Okay. Okay, that's what I think we're working with. We're going to take these. We can really do with these on the grid. There we go. That's fine. Okay, get rid of that there. Okay, now also actually, it would probably help if this wasn't on the same grid as the floor underneath it, because we'll just kind of constantly select that if we don't. Okay. Oops. So we just need to go that way a little. We need to get the building in that fence there. That's all we need to that needs to happen here. Whoa. Okay. Right, it's in that fence on that side. You can be right up against there. It just needs to be in it, and it's in it there. Okay, that's great. All right, so we'll probably. I just realised these are a little off actually. Don't need that. Well, I'll take these this way. This is one of the ones where we're randomly off the grid. Oh, this is. I feel like this doesn't happen when I'm not playing live, but for some reason when it's live I always seem to find myself just not quite on the grid. I was talking to Mineral, mentioned it happens a lot for him, and I just don't really get it. I mean, I know that we're building this in a little funny way, but I'm happy with that, I think. And then this is going to come that way. And again, not be on the grid. Okay. And we'll take you, and we're going to make a roof out of you this way. So, and then we basically have to do what we did last time, just rotate it that way. Should all click together nicely, and we'll just have two sets of the pipes there that we had to get rid of. So we'll remove them that way and that way. Oops, one more there. And just line that up because it'll be infuriating. Okay, there we go. So that gives us the structure. I quite like that. So now we're going to take these to match this side. It's going to be one of the things that isn't ever quite perfect, but I think we'll do a decent job. And then I wonder, actually, we might want to bring them down one angle like that, because I think otherwise they're going to be, this thing's going to be crazy tall. So let's do that on their side as well. Just go click that 15 degrees down. Oops. So as long as it's sort of just touching into the white there, and then we'll do the same here. Just touching into the white. It should be fairly lined up, and then we can go to each one individually. Bring it up like that. And then that finds us at our halfway point. And again, all of this will be neatened up with trim. But that gives us our roof that sort of ties into that, but still has its slight own vibe. And then we just hope that this all lines up. It looks like it's not all quite lined up, but I think we're okay. So I think rather than trying to make the roof work, we bring this wall out to the roof, because we do have a bit to play with. So we can just do that. There we go. And this might already just have the room with it. Yes, it does. This doesn't, so we will have to overlap one. That's fine, works quite nice. And the same here. Oops. Oh, that one doesn't have one in actually. Okay, well, we can do that. And we can do that. Excellent. And then I don't think we fill in the front. I think we do actually just I think we just do something like this. Oops. Let's head to there. And then the same again, but pull it out a little. That'll just make a nice trim. There we go. Oh, we're just on such a weird grid here now. See if I can do it this way. I mean, we should be able to still. Let's take this here. Just take a little bit of lining up. And again, it doesn't really matter if it's perfectly lined up, because we'll be trimming this off anyway. There we go. Then we just take that bottom one to line up with the bottom one. Yeah, that's fine, because as long as it's like from top and bottom neat, this middle bit we will do something else with. Okay. So there's, now we've got a nice good point to work from for the middle. So we should be able to bring this over to here. Looks like that's just not quite a green there, so we'll drop it in slightly. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, we've ended up with a miss. Oh, we didn't move one of them here. That's fine. In fact, that's probably better to delete it and... Oh, no, wrong one. Delete that one and move that one over. Perfect. Okay, and then probably what makes the most sense is to take this row here and here, and try and put it in the middle. It kind of depends on where the pillars will sit for this, but I think this is a good idea. So that's fine. That middle pillar is actually fine, and this one is, I mean, actually also fine because it just, the door's just going to go up to it there. And then this fence here, without the gates, can all just move ever so slightly. Come on, it's tricky to select stuff when you're working like this. There we go. We can. It's actually easier to over-select and do that. There we go. Perfect. Oh, it looks like it was made for it. Okay, so I'm going to come into here. We're going to go back to hoarding. With our 2 meter one up to where the middle is, which is there. Make it white, and we'll go. What's the best way to do this? Probably put them in and then fix them. We'll go something like that, okay? And then take all these to where they need to be. So that goes there. That one. That one goes there. Maybe these all need to shrink a little. Let's do it 85. Oh, no, it's 86. I mean, not that that 1 degree will make much difference, but we all know. We'll know it's not right. There we go. $85. Nice. 85. And maybe we'll leave the central one full whack. Okay. So we'll copy these, swing them around, line the middle one up, and that should line all of the others up. It doesn't. So it's probably just because we missed that one, I think. Yeah, there we go. I'm happy with that. Cool. It's a little fancy, but also like quite a simple structure. Would just be lots of iron, iron bars. So now we can take this right to the back. Whee! And I hope it all just sort of lines up, which it should. That goes there, so it does. Okay, yeah, because that goes there, and then all of this just has to come out a shy to hide the bottoms of them. There we go. And it looks like that one isn't quite lined up as well. There we go. Yeah, a few of these looks like it's just a little lower on this side. That's fine. Just to neaten up those little frayed edges. And still keep it nice on this side. That's good. So the last thing we need is just something on the top there that gonna just neatens all of this up. Basically, it just hides all a multitude of sins. Let's have a look. There's a lot of different sort of decorating pieces, decorative, like little suns and diamonds. Let's say one of these has got to work. I'm sure. I mean, there's this thing. I've seen a lot of folks use this. It's a nice shape. That looks perfect, especially, I'm assuming it all goes a nice white. I mean, that just looks made for it. We've definitely gone a little seaside-y here. I'm not against it. It wasn't quite where I was starting with, but with these videos where you kind of sort of, you know, pissing in the wind a little bit with them. Like normally, you know, I've got like Pinterest boards and all other stuff that leans into what I'm designing, whereas these, whilst I do have a vague idea of what I want to do, it is sort of happening organically. So, but I quite like that. I think those two buildings next to each other there, they've got a nice look to them. They lean a little into the sort of mall aesthetic, but also they lean a little bit into the more traditional stuff over here. And maybe I'm lying to myself that that's how it looks to me, but like I actually think that's actually quite nice how it all ties in. Oh, we're not quite there. Look at that. Whoop. There we go. Okay. So now the other thing we can do is just take all of this and basically do the same thing all over again, but this time as part of the cattle pen. Now, you're losing some of the fun interaction with the coaster by doing something like this, but I think without this thing just becomes a bit of a hot spot, you know. So I think that happens. I think that has to happen, and you would still see it come roaring past, you know, as you sort of look in here. Okay, all right. Again, I don't think you want to see me mess with these pieces slightly off grid again. So let's do that in a time lapse. There it goes. So unfortunately, just because of how long it takes for people to get in and out of the station, there is rarely more than one of these things on the track. Maybe two if we're lucky, but look how long it takes to get in and out. Look, that one's just gone up the lift hill. They're getting in. And yeah, just getting off again. So yeah, 3 on the track at once with a 4-car system. Maybe tweak that. I'm not fully up to speed with block brakes, but I think I've got 5 block brakes, so 4 is how many we can have. It'd be really nice to try and get the throughput up on this a little bit, but it just takes so long for them to get off the station. They don't let them get into the station until the last group is completely out of it. Oh, look at the wooden coaster going there. It's almost like it happened on purpose. That was cute. But overall, I'm really happy with this. Again, I'm leaning into the sort of blue and orange of the 90s theme. This is the sort of transitionary little period here. I'm sorry that I'm kind of all over the place with where I'm building in this series. This for me very much has to be like what I feel would look cool and what I feel I would like to have a go at making. But overall, I'm actually really happy with how this has turned out. It's got a cute little view area, and it's just that sort of mid-level, you know, like it's not just a thing placed down on a pad. They've had a little thought as to how it all sort of ties together with the space. You get some real great like guest views. Let's have a little look around. You know, so as you're coming in here, you get a good shot of it there with the maelstrom going. Let's not crouch. Which one's crouch again? Control. There we go. Although there we go. Yeah. So from down here, you get nice views of it swinging around, and then you've got the steps up here. You get a great view of the lift hill there coming down. It's that first drop. Whee! Down, you can see stuff in the background. Just see like twin sort of spinning around in between the trees, and that's great. And then the entrance here again. Name suggestions, please. This path will definitely come this way down there, so we can see what's going on. Most likely past a little building here, but we'll do some ride photos or something. Maybe, I'm not sure. It's a bit of an odd spot for ride photos over there, but I just really like how the how this sort of seasidey look has got. I just, you know, it kind of came out of nowhere, but I think it works really well. Yeah, really happy with how that's gone. And then down this side, as you're coming back the other way, this definitely needs some little QSR, not QSRs, but like little units that just sell a few gifts, you know, balloons, face paints, that kind of thing. Definitely need to work on some of those as we come up. But then we get a nice little bit of interaction with the wooden coaster here. Oh, here it comes. We'll get a good shot of it roaring past us here. There we go, look at that. And off they go into the distance as we come down. And then we've got the lockers, we've got this gale force thing swinging high here as we work towards our entrance. And then yeah, I just want here to be just full of kinetic energy, you know, just like to be a bit of an assault of the senses, really. So we'll get some cheesy music going on in here, some pop music probably, something like that. And then we've got rides there. We'll have the Enterprise going, we'll have that thing swinging, we'll have hooker ducks and all that kind of thing in here as well. Definitely something here. And then we work back up into the next section. And I think we're getting somewhere. These are all a bit too wide, probably. Maybe not. Maybe, but they definitely need something on them to break them up. So a gift store here, definitely. Okay, I'm going to make a promise to you. Next episode, I want to name the rides we haven't already. So I've had lots of suggestions here. I'm going to go back over and read those. We'll finish off the sign here. I want suggestions for the spinning coaster, please. These ones, honestly, I don't really mind using the name. Like Iron Claw is a perfectly fine name. Collider is fine. Maybe we'll change that to Enterprise. But if you've got anything that you can think of there, that's good. But next episode is going to be naming these rides, getting some signage on them, and working on some path breakers. So a couple of little midways, and a little gift store here, I think, just to start to break up these sort of swathes of path that we're getting here as we place stuff down. But that's what I'm going to do in the next episode. This is going to be a long one, so thanks for bearing with me if you did. The numbers are starting to drop off a little on this series now, but they're still doing fine. And the comments, obviously, you know, you're also really grateful for this kind of slower paced build. I'm enjoying it. I'm happy to see other people doing it. Miss T-Rex I saw started a series. I don't think it's a spoiler for me to say at this point that Mass Bandit has started one as well, although it might be. Let me have a look. No, his is up. Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to go and watch that now. Thank you so much. You should as well. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Until the next one, be good.